Good morning, I'm Dr. Paul Kiritsis, and welcome to a four-part series that I'm doing on the Great Mother Goddess, or focused around the Great Mother Goddess. Today I'll be giving a short introduction, and then we'll be carrying through to the body and the conclusion of the work. This material should probably be read in conjunction with the two articles that I've written, the two It's All Greek to Me articles that I've written titled The Cult of Hathor Isis and the Mother Archetype, and that can be found on my website under the tab Blog Tours. It's all Blog Tours, The Great Mother Goddess. Once in a while, an event of great cosmic significance known as a shift of consciousness permeates the universe in which we exist and changes the projected course of human history. Contrary to the dogmatic beliefs of many secular religions, such events aren't instigated by deities from the starry firmament, nor are they the doings of Father Sky, tinkering about with the 12 constellations which make up the zodiac of Western astrology. This shift of consciousness comes from beneath our feet, from within the loins of the earth, which possesses a very intricate and powerful Kundalini energy. This energy, archetypically feminine in nature, in natural expression and outward manifestation, appears and behaves much like a serpent in the grass. It is not unlike the Kundalini lying dormant in the human being, which originates at the base of the human spine and is inextricably linked with the activation of the 7 psychic centers of consciousness, or what mystics call the 7 chakras. In relation to the Great Earth Mother, this energy has not only been responsible for the spiritual attainment and evolution of the proselyte seeking communion with the God mind within, but also for collective revelations realized by mystics in monasteries, synagogues, ashrams, temples, and kankas. According to many occult and metaphysical traditions, the Earth Mother's Kundalini is dual, existing deep in the Earth's center and on the center of the Earth simultaneously. It emerges in a single location and permeates the area for about 2,000 years before moving elsewhere. This occurrence has been attributed to cyclical nature of time, and to the fact that the Earth's rotational axis isn't fixed in space. This combined gravitational pull of the Sun and the Moon acting on the Earth's equatorial bulge causes it to wobble. Scientists call this phenomenon precession of the equinoxes, meaning that the right ascension and declination of objects changes very slowly over a 25,920 year period. The implications for the Earth are that the Sun is seen to rise in the spring equinox in any one constellation for no more than about 2,160 years. When the Sun passes into a new sign, a new order of what the ancient Egyptians called netters, or powers, comes into existence, affecting a shift in collective consciousness and altering our concept of spirituality, or the way that we perceive the universe. The presence of the Earth Mother's Kundalini in any one place awakens those receptive to her call by spiriting a frequency into the electromagnetic and gravitational force field surrounding the area. In turn, this influences the higher consciousness grids, to which practicing mystics and metaphysicians are extremely sensitive when they commune with a layer of the unconscious mind, which psychiatrist Carl Jung termed the collective unconscious. The collective unconscious is a repository of ancient knowledge and repressed memories. It can be defined as the primal creative source of all that evolves into the conscious mind and into the total personality of each individual. I don't think it would be a hyperbole to claim that, to an extent, all human beings share the same subconscious mind, or at least have in common some very basic feelings, ideas, unseen energies, forces, forms of intelligence, and distinct personalities living within us. The key to unlocking this layer of consciousness through which our Earth Mother's Kundalini radiates her transformative energy is via the faculty of dreaming and active imagination. In light of this, it should be blatantly obvious that we evolve according to a set plan and design. We have discerned that movement of the Earth Mother's Kundalini is directly related to humankind's continual spiritual evolution, reaching the individual consciousness of people through the vehicle of the collective unconscious. In the last 5,000 years or so, it has shifted from the matriarchal societies of the early Nile settlers to mythical Tibet, and from the outskirts of Tibet in India to the South American countries of Chile and Peru, where it currently resides. The locus of this feminine power has behaved rather erratically throughout the history of Western civilization. It has periodically arched its head up from the subterranean amidst various humanitarian and esoteric brotherhoods like the Freemasons and Rosicrucians, as well as the gold-aspiring alchemists of the Middle Ages. But even then, it has always emerged in fundamentally unrecognizable forms. On so many occasions, this serpent body of garbled wisdom and arcane knowledge would sink back into the realms of unconsciousness as swiftly as what it had appeared. Exoterically, the divine feminine has always been associated with the renowned serpent emblem, which appears across all cultures in which the Earth Mother's Kundalini has sojourned, Egyptian, Minoan, Indian, Aztec, Mayan, and Incan. In the wake of the 21st century, we are once again standing on the last frontier before an inundation of everything archetypically feminine. Patriarchal religions are finally stepping down, and the range of human experience is unraveling again to encapsulate the idea of women as stoic leaders and catalysts in political, religious, and business affairs. Without a doubt, the re-emergence of the divine feminine is a breath of fresh air amidst the convergent thinking and persistent nagging backwardness of Western patriarchal ideals. The rise, fall, and subsequent resurgence of the divine feminine in Western civilization can best be understood from a Jungian perspective. In the discourse that follows, or that will follow this, I will attempt to apply my understanding of Jungian psychology and the principles of the collective unconscious to elucidate how and why the Earth Mother's Kundalini was so successful in propagating across the Western world. The divine feminine encompasses many Jungian archetypes, including that of love, the temptress, and the devoted wife, sister. I am honing in on the greatest one of all, the archetype of the Great Mother Goddess. In ancient times, the archetype of the Great Mother Goddess thrived within the Egyptian cult of Hathor Isis, which to this day stands as the longest lasting cult in the history of Western civilization. It was birthed in pre-dynastic Egypt and proliferated from Alexandria into the rest of the Mediterranean basin during the Ptolemaic period, thriving amongst humanity for nearly 4,000 millennia, so between 3,100 BCE and 551 CE of the Common Era. So I'm choosing to focus on this aspect of metaphysical inquiry, seeing that minimal research has been conducted into the powers of the divine feminine, how the Earth Mother's Kundalini seeps its way into the conscious awareness of human beings. My hypothesis is clearly related to the notion that this feminine energy permeates human consciousness via the archetypes of the collective unconscious. Due to the complexity of the task at hand and the longevity of civilized history, I will only examine the evolution and influence of the divine feminine from 3100 BC to 551 CE, the years it remained alive and influential in the old world. The subject needs to be written about because it formulates a very plausible theory as to how the subtler metaphysical aspects of the living universe interact with layers of the unconscious mind, to which individual people do have access, which in turn influences the cultural and spiritual evolution of our collective history. And on that note, I will see you for blog number 2 this Friday. See you then.